Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. Never had a YouTube channel, never done a vlog, but really wanted to document my whole fitness journey just for myself and for others out there who may be curious. I know a lot of YouTubers out there have already been going through this process. I'm sure you could search through all their old videos, find when they first started. But if there's anybody out there looking to follow along on somebody's fitness journey, this might be a good channel for you. So today I'm just going to do kind of an introduction into myself, kind of where I stand today with my fitness journey. Wrote down a whole slew of notes here so I don't get off track basically about kind of where I started and where I'm headed. But yeah, welcome, and let's just jump into it. So my name is Brianna. A lot of people call me Bree. I am based out of California, grew up in San Diego, and now I'm just about an hour and a half to 2 hours north in Menifee in Riverside County. My fiance and I bought a house out here a couple years ago, and that's why we live in this area now. I'm 28 years old. I'm 5'3", and my current weight is 125 pounds. Growing up, I was active. I, played soccer. That was my sport of choice, and because my older siblings played soccer, so I got into it as well. I played it from a very young age, like below 10 years old, and then I did play it through high school as well, and I stopped playing it after high school, so I did not play in my college years. And then I also just did tap dance when I was younger as well. So those were the two things kind of that I did as my activities, extracurriculars outside of school. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, so college age, I didn't do any activities or play any sports. Really the only way I was kind of getting movement in was I worked at Panera. I started, as an associate at Panera, just working in the cafe. I did end up moving up into like a general manager position. So I was basically, working 40 hours a week. When I was a general manager, it was closer to like 45 hours a week. So I was on my feet for like 9 hours a day, getting a lot of movement in there. And honestly, my eating habits weren't that great during that time. I kind of just would lightly snack throughout the day, but wouldn't have too many real meals. So I think that pretty much kept my weight down because I was on my feet all day, walking a lot, and then also not eating that much. So that was basically, from like 2015 through like 2020, I would say I was working in that environment at Panera while I was in college. And then in 2020, I moved, got a desk job as well. So basically I had transitioned from being on my feet all day, 9 hours a day, to now having a desk job. I wasn't exercising at all, not even taking walks or anything really. So I was pretty stagnant at that time. I did have my dog though, Miko, so I would go out and walk him, but I wasn't tracking my eating or anything. So I think I was starting to put on a little bit of weight after basically not having that activity from being on my feet all day while at work. And then moving into 2021, so this was kind of my first attempts at calorie tracking. I think I was eating around 1,300 calories a day, which is pretty low, but it was what I had used online was a calorie calculator online just to see what I would need to be eating in order to lose a pound a week, I think was my goal at that time. So that actually worked. I was dropping, some weight during that time where I was doing that first attempt of calorie counting. But then, I don't know, I didn't keep up with it, dropped off with that. And then, yeah, my weight kind of was continuing to go up. And then in early 2022, so I did get a new job. And at this job, it was in the office actually. And they had a gym available in the office building. So I think it was during that time really that I started getting into weightlifting, and I basically found some exercises online for the various muscle groups, and I kind of came up with my own, I guess, training program at that point. I was consistently doing the same exercises like week after week, so I wasn't like changing it up, and I feel like I was actually seeing results during that time. I was looking, a little more toned because I was like lifting weights and moving my body in that way. Also during that time, we were living in San Diego, and my fiance, he actually found a personal trainer that he had like a few sessions with. I actually went to a session with him, and then I went to that personal trainer a couple times on my own as well. So that was a pretty cool experience. I had never like had a workout with a personal trainer before, but that was, during like 2022. Consistently kind of weightlifting. Also still not tracking my food again though. So I was just eating really like whatever I wanted, I think, during that time. And then, so that was 2022. Mid 2023, we moved into the house we're in now. So in Menifee, away from my office, and actually transitioned to a fully remote job. So basically, at this point, we're at the house, I'm fully remote, and again, I was just kind of like walking the dog, but I wasn't going to the gym anymore. We do have like a home gym in our garage, but for some reason, I don't know, I just wasn't using it. So basically, 2023 until May of 2024, I actually decided to join Pilates and sign up for a membership with Pilates, and I was like, I think I was just like feeling in a slump, I was doing my fully remote job, wasn't exercising, was only really walking the dog, and I was like, I need to move my body, like I need to do something, get active again. So I signed up for Pilates, and that kind of like, forced me to go get out of the house, get some exercise in, and at that point I was paying for like a membership where I think I was going like, I think I started at like once a week, and then I slowly like increased the number of times I was going. So I think I was up to like 3 times a week, and then 4 times a week. And basically, I was just doing Pilates. I really liked it a lot. It was actually more challenging than I expected, and I felt like I was moving my body, I was getting out of the house, getting some exercise in. So Pilates basically in 2024, May 2024. Then in 2024 as well, later that year in September, I decided to go to the doctor just for like a physical. I hadn't been to the doctor in so many years, and I just wanted to like get blood work done, like see how I was doing, all of that. And honestly, this doctor appointment, after I got the blood work, my cholesterol was a little high. They take your weight, obviously, and like look at that, and based off of your height and everything, they give you your BMI, and I was like shocked by my BMI, and I don't know, I didn't realize like the current state of my body was, I guess, health-wise, and that I actually had put on like quite a bit of weight, because I think at this point when I went to the doctor, I was like weighing around like 150, like 5 probably when I went to the doctor, which is the heaviest I have ever weighed in my life, by the way. And so after the doctor appointment, I was like, I had been going to Pilates, but I was like, all right, like this like isn't enough. Like I still kept going to Pilates, but then the more I was thinking about it, I was like, this just isn't enough. Like what I'm doing, it's not really making too much of a difference. At least it didn't feel like it was to me. So then move on to November, like a few months later that year, November 2024, I decided to sign up with a personal trainer, my coach. So I actually found her because she is the wife of somebody I went to high school with, and I had been following him on Instagram. I think I had seen her obviously like in his post, and I had looked at her profile, and honestly I was just impressed with like where she had started, where she was, her current state, and her physique, and I scheduled like a consultation call with her, and I really liked her based off of that conversation. And yeah, I decided to sign up. And I was like, I think this is going to really help me, like give me some accountability. Like obviously, I need to make a further change to get to where I want to be. So with my personal trainer, signing up in November 2024, I was doing 4 days of lifting, and then I was still doing Pilates like 1 to 2 times a week, I think. And this is where she also made me assigned me macros. So I was really going to be tracking my food at this point. And basically working with her, like it was also around the holidays, right? So she was really helpful during the holidays too, just giving me different protocols and things around like holiday events, and like adjusted my eating like before and after events. And I was open with her, like telling her when I would have events, so that she could help me with that. And so yeah, through to the end of the year, I was still doing Pilates until like, I think January 2025 is what I wrote down here. So January 2025, I was doing, the Pilates 1 to 2 times a week, and then 4 days of lifting. And after January, I did stop the Pilates as well. But basically, working with my coach from November until May, I think, so November 2024 until May 2025, it's been about like, I was basically consistently losing 1 pound a week during this time. So from November 2024 through May 2025, I had lost 21 pounds at that point. And that is in November, December, January, February, March, April, May, 6 months. So 6 months I lost 21 pounds. And I'll throw up some photos as well, just so you can see what that looked like, because I also sent my coach progress photos every single week in addition to tracking my weight. So basically, yeah, in 6 months I was able to lose 21 pounds working with my coach. It was, she gave me my weightlifting programs. I had 2 different programs during that time. Both of them were pretty long programs though. The first one was like 16 weeks, and then the second one was 20 weeks. So obviously consistently lifting 4 times a week, had the same program week after week, and also was trying to focus on like progressive overload during those workouts as well. So yeah, and that whole time I was in caloric deficit, right? So I was lifting in a caloric deficit, and then that's why I was able to consistently lose the weight that I was during that time period. So then we're in May 2025. It's about time for me to renew with my coach because I had signed a 6-month contract. And at this point, I was so happy, with the progress I had made. Up to that point, I couldn't even fathom that I had lost so much weight. And honestly, seeing my before photos and my progress photos up to that point, it was just shocking to see all the fat that was on my body, and no wonder I wasn't feeling good in my own skin and with my body, right? So I was so happy with the progress, but I did talk to my coach, and I was like, hey, I want to have a phone call with you before I renew. I have a little bit of a different goal now, right? Because when I had first started with her, it said, my goal is body recomposition. So body recomping is just gaining muscle and losing fat at the same time. And I think that during that time with her, I definitely was achieving both of those things. And again, I was super happy with my progress, but I don't know, I wanted more. And I also just decided I want to really push myself, push my body to its limits, see where I can go with this and what I can, do moving forward. And so I just got this idea in my head, I want to do a bodybuilding competition. And, there's different divisions in bodybuilding competitions. I don't have a lot of muscle mass really on me right now. And so I did tell her, I want to enter a bodybuilding competition towards the end of 2026. So based off of that, you know, we did have an open conversation because my coach, she's very transparent. Like, she is a fitness and lifestyle coach, but she's never actually coached somebody for a bodybuilding competition. So she also shared that with me and was open with me about that. She did say, however, that was something that she was wanting to take as a next step for her own career as well. And so I would basically be one of her first clients, but she has a coach of her own who's also her mentor. So, you know, we agreed. I felt comfortable, like, everybody has to start somewhere, right? And I'm not trying to do this as a career necessarily, right? I just am doing this for me and to see where I can take myself by going to a competition. So I said I was willing to work with her, you know, because her coach is going to be mentoring her through the process of me working towards getting to compete in a competition. So we had that conversation. I decided to renew with her, and we are basically going to change things up now at this point. So in June of 2025, she did give me a step goal. My current step goal is 9,500 steps a day, and she also did add cardio to my program as well. So we do have a rower in the home gym, so I actually was doing cardio on the rower. So she added that, and then basically in July, so last month, July 2025, she did start a new program for me, and she did title it Build for Show, which I was like so excited about. But basically now, July 2025, she gave me a new program. It was time to, you know, start a new workout program. For this, she's doing 2 leg days for me, 2 core days, and then, or 2 like core workouts. And then I also have my cardio and my steps as well. Now, between the time I had renewed with her in May 2025 to when I got this new program in July as well, she did also want me to, I can't remember exactly when, but she wanted me to transition to Stairmaster for my cardio if that was possible. So I did also get a gym membership to a gym local to me, like 5-minute drive away. And I have been doing the Stairmaster 4 times a week. And I just had a calorie goal, which was 250 calories on the Stairmaster. So that took me about 30 minutes doing level 6 on the Stairmaster. So that was my cardio. And when she made my new program, I did tell her, hey, since I have this gym membership, like, I'm willing to do one full day at the commercial gym where there's like machines available there that I don't have at my home gym. So that's why she made the second leg day actually at the commercial gym. So now basically my program consists of 5 days lifting. And then, as I mentioned, I still have my step goal, cardio goal, and then I have the core 2 times a week. And also because I'm transitioning into being, you know, adjusting like my lifestyle for fitness into preparing like for competition and things. She was also like doing some different protocols, which was kind of fun, just to see how my body would respond. So for example, she had me do like a week of like high carb days and low carb days. And then she's had me do like a couple of refeed days just to see like how my body would respond to those as well. So that's been kind of interesting just to see as well kind of the results after going through all these various things, and just to see like how my body responds, right? I feel like I'm learning so much throughout this process already so far. So that's been pretty cool. And then now we're in August. So at this point, this is where I am at my current weight of 125 pounds. So at this point, I've actually lost 27 pounds since when I started with my coach back in November. And my coach knows that from August until December of this year now, I have a bunch of like wedding activities and events going on. So we're gonna move into a phase now where it is going to be a maintenance, like an actual maintenance phase, because I've been in a caloric deficit for so long. So where I'm sitting at 125 pounds, I've lost, I actually wrote down here, 27.6 pounds. And so we're gonna move into a maintenance phase. So what that means is that she has slightly increased my calories, like she adjusted my macros to slightly increase my calories, and then she did also reduce my cardio as well. So I'm still doing 4 days a week, but instead of doing like the 250 calorie goal, it's 4 days a week cardio for 20 minutes, and then at the same effort level. So I'm still doing level 6 on the Stairmaster. So that's kind of the adjustment there in August. Yeah, in August I have my bachelorette weekend, which obviously she's going to give me some guidance and like protocols around that. And then in October we're actually getting married. We're doing a courthouse wedding. Then in November we actually have like a reception party with family and friends. And then December we have a 2-week trip to Thailand. So excited about that. But that's our honeymoon. Like we're calling it our elopement / honeymoon. So that'll be 2 weeks in Thailand. And then basically going into next year, because I have the goal of actually competing, and by the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but we're going to aim to start me in Bikini, just so, you know, I can, that's like most appropriate for like a starting division, because I don't have a lot of muscle mass. But she did tell me, you know, if I'm aiming to compete towards the end of 2026, then, you know, after being in this maintenance phase right now, we will go into like a slight build phase before entering like any kind of prep, like official prep, where we're going to aim to bring the weight down again, right, to get me ready for a show. So that's kind of the goal right now. I don't have like a specific date or show that I'm going to be doing. I haven't even talked to her about that, honestly. Right now we're just in the maintenance phase. I do know I will have to go into a slight build phase for who knows how long, because I do need to put on some more muscle mass. And then it'll be the actual prep. So that's kind of the history. That's where I stand now. I'm so excited about where I'm going with my fitness journey. I'm gonna document everything just so I can even have that for myself as like a point of reference of, you know, for me to look back on, see how far I've come, where I'm going. But basically along the way, I'm just planning on vlogging like as much as I can around all of this like fitness journey stuff. And so, you know, some of it is not as exciting, right? Like I know everybody likes to watch like prep series and things, but this is where I am right now. So I'm in maintenance. I'm gonna vlog through my build phase as well, and then I'll eventually vlog through my prep stuff too. So yeah, first time competitor. So I'm basically, you know, just trying to document everything, have a lot of fun, but yeah, really excited about this. So if you're interested, you can keep watching. I don't know how many videos I'll be posting or how frequently, but just whenever I have the time and think that people might be interested in seeing something. But that's all I've got. Thanks for watching.